What's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Reserves Radio. I'm your host, Rehn. With me, as always, Angelo and Austin. Guys, look, I'm going to be real with you. We're going to be honest here. It's 2K Day. And, that's
You just said today was 2K. Yeah!
No. Okay.
You admitted defeat.
It's legit. Okay. Yesterday was 2K Day. If you took a trip to New Zealand
on Xbox,
because that's the only console you can do it on, and we did, and Angela's denying it as 2K Day. Today is officially 2K Day. It's released for everyone, so that's what we've been doing for the past 24 hours.
Thank you.
Look, I'm tired.
Acknowledge me.
I'm not acknowledging you. So that's where we want to be right now. This is where we want to be. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. What, Angelo?
I got
Go
a
ahead.
fun story.
Got a fun story. Story time with Angelo.
So Alexis was off the last week, and we planned some stuff, and we were talking about the recording schedule this week because I do the football and the basketball one.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this movie she wanted to watch that the last day would have been a day me and Alex were recording. And she said that just take me to a restaurant and record that day. Well, I ended up not recording that day. So
yeah, the noties this week were weird for me.
Yeah, I got mine super late. But regardless, we went to this restaurant, and apparently while we were eating, the credit card machine went down.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
And apparently it affected their whole system. So they ran my card, and after it didn't go through, they told us just to leave. The meal is on the house.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's... How often does that happen?
I've never had that happen to me before.
Yeah, I've never had anything like that. At least not like that, restaurant. No.
And you know what? We're going back there. So.
Yeah, I mean it's good customer service. Exactly. We screwed up. Our servers are messed up. We're gonna take care of you. That's good to see. So yeah, that's the long way of saying it is now Friday. We normally record on Thursday, but we were busy yesterday.
You were busy yesterday.
Yeah, because I was embracing 2K Day. So yeah. Austin's been quiet. Austin's mic's buzzing a little bit, and he's actually, while we're recording, he's playing 2K because that's what we're doing.
I bet you are too. Stop it.
I'm not. I don't even have.
You can't because you.
No. I record in a separate room.
You record in the closet. That's right.
So let's go ahead. There's not much NBA news. The only news that I was able to find, unless one of you has something, is related to FIBA, and we will cover FIBA when it's over. I don't want to do weekly updates on it, but there is some interesting things, like Serbia destroyed Canada. I won't say they destroyed Canada, but Serbia is in the finals, and they don't have Jokic because he's sitting out this FIBA Cup. So Serbia's got a really good team, is what I'm saying. But look, we're not here for FIBA. We're here for NBA. So, the question of the day, or question of the week, I guess, is: are you someone, or would you try something new? Are you someone that's open to trying new things? What's the most out of left field thing you've tried, or are you someone that you like certain things and you don't deviate from that?
So it depends on the thing.
Absolutely not for me.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the thing for me. So food, I'll give it a go, but an activity, maybe not. I like my certain activities, and I usually stick to that.
For me, it's completely like I kind of live by the mantra that I will try anything once, and if I don't like it, I'll try it a second time, especially if it's like food, because like you can have a food and you've tried it and it's bad, and then you try it the next time, and the person that was preparing it knew what they were doing, and now it's one of your favorite foods. So I'm definitely open to trying new things. Um, I will try anything one time, even if it's something like there was a. It was a little bit of a story time. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a friend of mine had ordered like tarantulas that were lightly salted. That's important. Lightly salted tarantulas in a bag, and like we ate them, and they were disgusting. But how many people would do that, right? So that's kind of how I attack life in any form. Like, even if it's something I don't think I'm gonna like, I'll try it, because how do you know without trying it? Austin, what about you? You've been literally quiet since the start of this episode.
Yeah, my computer's going through it tonight. I mean, I'm kind of with you on the food. Like, I will try some foods. I draw the line on seafood, as you all know.
Oh,
I don't do seafood. Um,
Go ahead, Austin. Say the phrase.
no,
Yes, say the damn phrase.
no,
Say the phrase.
fine. So when I was a kid, I made up this saying that if it's from the sea, it's not for me.
That's a terrible way to live.
It is a
Nope,
terrible way to
it's
live.
fine.
No,
So have you ever experienced surf and turf?
Nope.
Okay, so have you ever in your life had a crab leg?
I've tried it. My family loves crab. I don't eat it.
Have you ever had a lobster tail?
Yes.
Have you ever tried swordfish?
No, I've not
There's
tried
no way.
swordfish.
Have you ever had a tuna steak?
No.
Have you ever had shrimp?
Yes.
What the
I will say,
I
shrimp
just
is the only thing I could eat without like.
You know technically shrimp are bugs. They're not seafood.
Okay,
Right?
then I'm fine.
That's just so weird to me. Like, there are a few things I like more than like properly cooked salmon, or like even like tilapia, even though tilapia is like lunch line food.
I like salmon more than tilapia.
I like salmon more than tilapia for sure. Or like a
Tilapia.
good like southern fried catfish. Like there's. Oh god, I'm getting hungry.
You know what I haven't tried, but I'm
What
going
haven't
to
you tried?
because Alexis is like Austin and she will not eat seafood, so I have to wait for a day she's not home. But we have these frozen crawfish.
Oh, I love crawfish.
I want to try it because I've never had crawfish.
So frozen might be weird.
I'm
not gonna lie. But no, if you ever get a chance to go down to New Orleans, for sure, like find a place, because it is. They have a weird like gamey taste to them, but it's good. So, okay, let's shift the question a little bit. What is, like Angelo already gave his answer? What's something you want to try soon that you've never had before, Austin? And it doesn't have to be food. Like it can be an
Okay.
activity.
I was like, huh. Food or an activity? I don't know. I don't think of things ahead.
Ah,
That's
I've
chaotic.
been debating lately, even though I'm like, I don't do heights. I've been debating looking at skydiving.
Oh, dude, do it. So that's actually going to be mine. So I've done skydiving. Mine, I want to try base jumping. The only problem is I think you actually have to get jump certified to do it, because I don't think they do tandem, and they're not going to let you jump off the side of something with a parachute by yourself. So I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll do next year. Like go get myself certified to jump from a high place. That'd be
you
cool.
can do that. I'm gonna stay alive.
Okay, but I want you to Google how many accidents there are from those things.
It could be zero.
It
I don't
it
care.
it's not 0. It's greater than 0, but like
Me and Angelo will have
percentage-wise.
the chalk.
No, the chalk. Okay, fine, that's fair. So we're gonna do a continuation of last week's episode. One, because we didn't really prepare this week, but two, because we got to finish
How about say
what
even
we
if
started. That's the thing.
we
We didn't really have to prepare because we did the first half of this list last week. So what we're doing is we're going through Bleacher Report's top 100 predictions for next year, and we're deciding whether we agree with them or whether we think that player should be higher or lower. Again, it's all based on personal opinion, and two, it's not got to make sense. So like if we say like all of these players deserve to be higher, just go with it. Like even though that's not possible because someone would have to be lower in that case. It's just, do we think that player, like maybe they're being underrated even though there's only this many spots? We don't know who's on the list. We have not looked, well, I haven't looked ahead on the list. I doubt you two have, though I know a few content creators have also done this idea. We were the first last week. We did it first. So yeah, let's get into it. We ended last week at number 50, which was Chris Middleton. This week we're starting at 49. That's how numbers work. And number 49 is Draymond Green. Last year he finished with 8.5 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game, shooting 52.7 from the field and 30.5 from 3. He played 73 games. Previously, he was ranked in the top 45, so he has dropped a little bit. I think this is fair for Draymond, especially at this point in his career. I think that in his prime, he definitely would have been higher. But he's getting older. He's slow. He's not... Like, his beard is gray.
I think
Yeah.
Draymond, even if we're not talking about this year, is probably like one of the hardest people to grade. Because
Yeah.
how do you value his defense, his passing? What do you consider? Do you consider him a good shooter? Like, it depends.
I
on the
consider
year.
him an adequate shooter for his position because he, for all intents and purposes, he plays the 5. Like,
Yeah.
that is his role. If we were to break it down positionally, he plays the center position, even though they're, Kevon Looney will be on the floor or whatever, James Wiseman. But I think the spot where Draymond is still hyper valuable, because you said his defense, I don't think his defense is still it's not anywhere near where it was in his prime. It's still really, really, really good, but I think the value of Dre is his playmaking. And it's kind of the same thing with LeBron, where as he's gotten older, he's lost a step. He's not able to score as much. And I'm not saying Dre was ever a great scorer by any stretch of the imagination, but the value is the fact that he's I hate using this phrase, but a student of the game. He's very great at reading a defense and making the right play. So I think it's fair to still have him in the top 50. I think being at the very end of the top 50 is exactly where he should be.
Yeah, I think it fits him.
Do you believe there's an alternate history where Draymond isn't on a completely stacked team full of shooters and he has to develop an offensive game?
So here's the thing: is he did develop an offensive game, just not a scoring game.
Right.
Do I think he would need to be a scorer in a different timeline? Maybe. I think he could have done it. Like, he has all the physical tools. It's just, look, if you're playing with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you give them the ball, you get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, that's the smart play. And as, Dre makes some pretty stupid comments sometimes, but in terms of on the floor, he's one of the most intelligent players there is. So,
yeah.
Number 48 is LaMelo Ball.
Ooh.
23.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 41% from the field, 37% from 3. He only played 36 games. This one's tough. This one's tough.
You could make an argument for both cases because You could say his talent dictates him to be higher, and it does.
But his efficiency dictates him to be lower.
Yes, and availability as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying is 2 in a row, we're saying they're where they should be because you could make the argument both ways, and I don't think you would be wrong. Now, granted, with his talent, if he had a competent team around him, would he be more efficient? Probably, because like right now, what do? You just guard LaMelo.
So I saw a Reddit post recently, I want your guys' take on this. We're gonna diverge a little bit.
Okay.
And it said, where do you rank the Hornets' young core compared to other young core? And it had teams like the Rockets.
Yeah, I saw the post.
Okay. Where do you think, are they like a lower tier young core, or are they in the middle?
I would have to like actually look at it. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up real quick because I think I would put them in the middle.
Which is fair. Because I actually don't hate the Hornets core. I think the Hornets kind of get this thing where they're not that big of a market and they historically haven't been good, so you kind of discount them.
So,
but the talent on that team is, you can't deny.
So the team, there's 8 teams on the list. So it's the OKC Thunder with SGA, Chet, and Giddey. The Rockets, yeah, the Rockets are on there. The Magic, the Blazers, the Pacers, the Hornets, the Pistons, and the Spurs.
So here's the argument for the Hornets, because the other teams, like the Thunder, I'll use an example, have the best individual player in someone like SGA, if you want to say Victor for the Spurs. I think LaMelo, at least if he's available and healthy, compares similarly to them. And I think I like what Brandon Miller could be over.
So I think that as I'm looking at this, I think the OKC, it's tough. This is homerism, but for me, it's between the Pacers and the Thunder because they have the solidified stars, right? SGA and Tyrese Halliburton, we agree.
Yeah.
I think those are the top 2, and then after that, I think the Pistons, because I think Cade, Jaden Ivey alone bring them up. Actually, Trailblazers are low.
Yeah, Trailblazers are like the best to me
on this list, just because Anthony Simons, like he doesn't play defense. Let's be real.
They have a bunch of combo guards.
They have a bunch of combo guards.
They don't have a team; they just have a position.
Yeah.
Austin's gonna be mad, but then I've got the Spurs because I do think Wemby is talent-wise, he brings them up there.
So here's the thing: we actually have talked about the Spurs players a lot outside of Wemby in our top 10 list. Devin Cassell, and I'm drawing a blank on the other one.
Johnson.
Yes. Yeah, Keldon Johnson. Yes. They had
those names.
Very underrated season. So you could argue, I could see an argument for the Spurs being at the top.
Yeah.
I think for me, the Magic being up there, I think they're probably the bottom. And the reason being is if you look at this image, and I don't know if you guys have it pulled up.
We don't have it pulled up, but I understand the reasoning for the Magic. Paolo had a great season, but it's just his first season. And honestly, the Magic have a lot of like things that could be good, but not. They haven't
they're bad at
developed them yet.
Well, for me, it's because it's Paolo, Wagner, and then the third player in their young core is Anthony Black. And while I'm not meaning any disrespect to Anthony Black, like he's not Brandon Miller, he's not Scoot Henderson, he's not Victor Wembanyama. Like,
right.
I'm sure if you follow college basketball, you are aware that Anthony Black is a great player, but he's not one of those 3.
No,
agree.
and I guess that kind of makes me a hypocrite because the Pacers are Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Jarris Walker. But it's because Tyrese Halliburton is a legitimate star in the league. So I don't know. I think they're right in the middle. I think the Hornets.
Argument with Thunder because Chet Holmgren didn't play last season.
I think Thunder's probably the best.
I think Thunder's probably the best, and then the Pacers are right behind them. And then I think the Hornets are probably right in the middle.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't hate the Hornets.
That was a good question. So,
Yeah.
So number 47 is DeJounte Murray, the other point guard over in Atlanta. Last year, 20.5 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 6.1 assists, 46.5 from the field, and 34.5 from three. Take it away, Angelo.
I think he should be higher because he's the best point guard on the Hawks.
That's why I told Angelo to do it. I knew that was coming.
I figured.
I think he should be higher, not because
not because
he's
of bias.
Not because he's the better point guard, but just because I'm thinking about who we talked about last week. I'm pretty sure he's probably the best remaining defensive point guard, hands down. And I think that there's value in that, and it's not like, yeah, he wasn't super efficient from three, but you get 20.5 points out of someone that's a solid defender, or greater than solid defender. And he probably should be higher. There's a little bit of feedback coming through one of your mics.
It's awesome. There you
go. But when he wasn't on the floor, the Hawks' net rating was significantly worse. Whether that was because of his offensive production or his defensive production, I'm guessing the latter because, let's be real, Trae Young is a lot of things, but a defender he's not. So.
No, he's also not. Never mind.
We will talk about Trae Young because he's going to be higher on this list. So we will save it for that. But regardless, I think DeJounte Murray is a little bit underrated. I think top 40 for sure. I don't know if I would go much higher than that. With his defense alone, he should be higher.
Fair.
Austin, your take?
Higher, lower, baby.
Higher. I mean, you hit all the points, but his defense is why I think he should be a lot higher.
It's easy. So next is number 46, OG Anunoby.
What?
Yeah. We'll get to it in a second because we're all gonna disagree with him being this low. 16.8 points per game. We'll round it up and say 7. 5 rebounds per game, 2 assists, 47.5 from the field, 39 from three. Okay, this is just wrong. This is just wrong. Like, ignoring his stats, which are solid. He was like in the 99th percentile of defenders. Like, consistently guarding the toughest player any night, no matter what their position was, 1 through 5. He was on them. Like, this is absurd to me. He, honestly, if you just watch the box scores, it may be top 40, but, like, his value is top 30, hands down.
I got nothing for that. That's yeah.
Do you agree with me, or do you think he should be lower?
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Like, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Bad list.
This has invalidated the whole list. This one number.
Yep.
Well, shit. We'll just move on to the next one. Number 45, Andrew Wiggins. Last year, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 47% from the field, 40% from three, 37 games played.
Too high.
Too high? Really?
Too high.
I think it feels about right. I think that the injury issues are what would keep him lower for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was my
because if you remember when Wiggins was drafted, he was the next LeBron. He never got there.
Really?
he never got close. But he definitely had a career resurgence in Golden State. I think now he's like I would
Honestly,
become.
I don't think it would have been better than what happened with the Cavs, but I kind of wish he would have stayed on the Cavs. I know he couldn't have. We couldn't have gotten love without him. But I kind of wish he would have stayed there, been there for 3 years with under LeBron's tutelage, and just seen what happened. Because LeBron would have got him in spots that he just never got to when he was on the Timberwolves.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an NBA what if like story because he really didn't get like he got the looks, but he never really got a mentor until later in his career. And we're saying later in his career, the dude's like what 28.
Yeah.
It is not like he's like on the verge of retirement or anything, but the talent was there to be that next man up, and unfortunately, the Cavaliers were one of the worst run organizations. You can't even argue with it, Angelo, for a while there.
I'm arguing with it. Trash cans.
Man, look, you can just like, you could say like all you want about like how great the Cavs did and blah blah blah, and then all you have to say is Anthony Bennett, and the argument's done. Like you've lost. Like the Cavs are stupid for that.
Wait, time out. That was a bad pick. But go back to that class. There weren't that many great options anyway.
You wouldn't have taken Oladipo?
It wasn't a strong class.
You wouldn't have taken Oladipo over Bennett?
I probably would have, but I can understand where they were coming from when they made that selection.
I'm gonna pull up that draft.
You act like Oladipo is this world beater. Oladipo took like 5 seasons to become something.
No, he took like 5 seasons to become the number one option, and then he destroyed his leg and ruined his career. But let's see, other players in that draft besides Victor Oladipo, Otto Porter, I would take him over Anthony Bennett. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, even C.J. McCollum, a little man named Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That you could not have seen.
Tim Hardaway Jr. Rudy Gobert. No, you couldn't have predicted it. I'm just saying, like, if the draft is that bad, take a shot in the dark. Go for the 7-foot-tall ball handler.
You never know the draft's going to be that bad because everyone is hyped up to a degree.
I don't remember any hype around Anthony Bennett.
No, and there wasn't.
Like
it was
for
a,
me, like
it was a shocking, jarring pick, but they kind of did what you said they should do. They went with the hyper athletic oodles of potential guy, and it didn't work out.
I wouldn't even, because if you're going for the hyper athletic guy, you were taking Oladipo that year.
That's true.
I don't know. Like maybe like for me it was more obvious because I live in Indiana and Oladipo went to IU, so like for me it was like, wow, that kid's got something. And that's another what if story, is what if Oladipo never blew out his leg, because he was rising up there.
Yeah.
So next, 44 is Zach LaVine. 25 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 48.5 from the field, and 37.5 from 3. 77 games played. This is weird because I feel like I want to say he should be higher just based on that stat line, but it's LaVine.
I'm generally okay with the ranking. I can take it or leave it.
So do you think that he's going to get more of a focus point with Lonzo Ball potentially never playing basketball again? Like, do you think they're going to slot LaVine into the 1 spot?
They kind of have to.
Well, they have
unless they want to, they have Caruso. Unless they want to, I guess keep relying on DeMar.
Austin would be shook.
Ew.
But I mean, at some point, Levine has to take those reins, and like,
Or they need to rebuild and just blow it up.
I might sound like a hater, but this isn't a hot take. I always haven't liked the Bulls core, and you know that. We got into arguments over it when it first assembled, and time has proven me right on this. But I just think it was a failure to begin with. It looked great on paper. I think
That's all it looked.
I think Lonzo Ball was the key because he was the defender in all those acquisitions. He was the playmaker. He was the guy who would make. We didn't expect Vucevic. I can't even say his name. Vucevic to regress as quickly as he did.
Yeah, he kind of fell off a cliff.
But he was the guy who was supposed to facilitate Levine and DeMar and Vucevic, and it just didn't work. Vucevic.
We found a new name that Angelo can't say.
I can't say foreign names, period, dude.
So I think like with Voos, you can just call him Voos, by the way.
Voos. Okay, thanks, Voos.
I think it was like if this was prime like Orlando Voos with this team, it would have been fine. But I think he did regress really quickly.
Yeah.
Levine.
I don't think it would have been fine either. There was no defense, dude.
I mean, we've seen teams that have just been pure offense go quite far.
Where?
Didn't the Atlanta Hawks make it to the Eastern Conference Finals?
When they got swept by the Cavs?
I mean, yeah, but they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Only 2 teams did that, so they beat everyone else there. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I think it could have worked. I just don't think Levine is the centerpiece that you build around.
I don't think anyone on there was the centerpiece that they acquired.
Levine's like the complimentary star.
Yeah, for sure. Like he should be the sidekick. He is the perfect sidekick. And at this point, I feel like I don't think it's too late to go get a sidekick or a star player, but they don't have the pieces really.
But here's the thing. They've also kind of flummed their picks because is Patrick Williams going to be something this year?
I feel like we've been saying that every year or asking that question every year.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to lie. I've forgotten all the picks they flung. Who's the point guard that they selected that just never turned into anything?
Was it Kevin Knox or was that the Knicks? Frank Ntilikina?
No, that was Knicks.
That was also the Knicks.
Are you thinking of
Kendrick
White?
Nunn? Kobe White.
Kobe White. There you go. So, I mean, they've had opportunities to kind of help the problem or fix the problem over the years, and it's just whether it's development or whether it's just bad luck, they haven't had it. So I think at some point you just got to press the restart button, as hard as a pill as that is to swallow, and stop, accepting being a borderline 8 seed and getting knocked out in the play-in tournament.
And that's the thing is like when you're a small market team and you're constantly like running on that treadmill, like hoping like, this player is going to take a step or whatever, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Because you're a small market team. The Chicago Bulls are a storied franchise. Like people want to play in Chicago. So like they're not going to be able to like blow it up and like rebuild in a short amount of time, but they could draw players like that's this like.
But here's the thing. I think it's been so catastrophic. I don't think like a short amount of time rebuild is something they should be aiming for anyway.
I think you blow it up, trade DeMar to a contender so he can go get a ring, trade Voos to a contender, get young pieces back. Levine he's only, I think, 27. He's either 27 or 28. So, like, it's not like he's completely outside of the window. Run it back with some young talent. Try to bring someone in, have him be your veteran leader, and just run with it and see what happens. Because, like, I don't. I don't know. I don't think you get short-term results trading everyone. That is an interesting feedback loop, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. That was a
Number
long
43. Yeah, we spent way too long on Zach LaVine. Number 43, Kristaps Porzingis. Last season, 23 points, 8.5 rebounds, 20 or 2.5 assists, 50% from the field, 39% from three, 65 games played. This is higher just because of situation.
There's no.
Yeah, there's no real like he's going to get looks that he's never gotten in his career just because he's playing with two of the better players in the league. One is a certified superstar, Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is a borderline. We played Would You Rather with Jaylen Brown, and yeah, there weren't many teams we all agreed that he wouldn't be the best player on the team. So,
and we also found out I have Jaylen Brown higher than Trae Young.
Well, we all knew that.
I mean, you're a certified Trae hater.
Do I have the card? Can I say I'm a card?
You have the card, Austin. What is your mic? What is your mic doing?
I don't know.
So I think even just from presence, because Kristaps Porzingis is 7'3", he's gonna be a positive influencer in terms of like net rating because he's suddenly a threat that the Celtics did not have previously, which should open the floor up a little bit for Tatum and Brown, and so impact for the team as well as his own personal stats I think are going to be higher.
I don't think his points are going to be higher, but
I don't think his points will be higher.
Secondary stats will definitely be.
But yeah, his secondary stats will be much higher. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let Austin lead this one. Number 42, DeMar DeRozan. 24.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 50% from the field, 50.5% from the field, 32.5% from three, 74 games played.
Right where he belongs.
What?
There's no take.
No take.
The card carrying member.
Yep.
The DeMar Hate Club. All right.
I gotta give him a compliment every once in a while.
Anyway, I think you could argue a little bit higher, but if you wanted to say, especially if this is going into this coming season, if you wanted to say that, it's about right that because you expect regression, then sure.
Yeah, I definitely expect. Well, I don't know if I expect regression just because how he plays the game.
I guess that's fair.
I just don't think, again, I don't expect the Chicago Bulls to be a legitimate contender in the East. I don't expect them to be even in that conversation. And maybe I'll be wrong, and I would love to be wrong because
you're not wrong.
I'm giving the benefit. But the thing about DeMar and why I would say maybe could be a little bit higher is if you track advanced statistics, he is one of the most clutch players in the game. Period. And yes, you could say that doesn't matter. They didn't do anything with that. Arguably the entire playoffs, whether it's game 1 of round 1 or game 7 of the finals, that's crunch time, right?
Yeah.
But consistently, DeMar has shown that if it's a close game, if it's game on the line, season on the line, whatever, DeMar is going to show up. Whether the rest of the team will or not, that's up for debate, but he's always going to rise to the moment. Unfortunately, basketball is not played by one person.
So against prime LeBron.
So I think he could be a little bit higher, but I think 40 range is fair for him. Anything else?
Said my piece.
So number 41, Evan Mobley. Last season, 16.2 points per game, 9 rebounds, 2 or 3 assists per game. Higher assists per game than I expected. 55.5 field goal percentage, 21% from 3, 79 games played,
I want some clarification. Is this coming into this season, or
Yes.
is this based off last season?
This is your expectations for next season.
Then higher.
Absolutely higher. I don't know why he's this low. Man finished third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. If you're getting Defensive Player of the Year candidate production defensively and averaging a double-double with 16 points, it's got to be higher. But, I mean, it is arguably that's top 40. So, like...
Yeah, that's fair. But here's the thing about Evan Mobley. If Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell can figure out how to actually perform like together, like in the playoffs, Evan Mobley makes your life an absolute living hell if you're the other team.
So, I guess a little bit of a segue here. Evan Mobley is a 21% shooter from deep, right?
Correct.
For the future of the team, how do you slot that in next to Jared Allen? Like
for the future of the team, you hope he develops a mid-range game.
That's your like prayer in the dark is Evan Mobley develops a mid-range or consistent like 30% from three.
That's not really a prayer from when it's the Steph Clay conundrum, except they're not as good as shooters. Let's be real. But when you have Garland and when you have Donovan Mitchell, sometimes the best thing you can do is play good defensively and let them shoot.
Just let Mitchell ISO all game.
Let's go.
Don't forget it's 2K day.
Drop 60.
Austin.
Capable of dropping 50 or 60 in a given game. Oh, fuck.
Okay, listeners. Sorry about that.
Sorry, got unplugged there.
Yeah, I know. Everyone knows. When you future Angelo, when you're editing this, drop the volume a little bit there. I'll
probably just cut that out. Well, we'll see.
That was loud as hell. Austin, what are your thoughts on Mobley at 41?
I'm awake.
Good.
Actually,
but now when I said I wasn't talking any differently than I talking to the mic, you believe me.
It's not that we didn't believe you, it's just that you're loud.
You were screaming earlier before we started recording.
I think Mobley should be higher, honestly.
Couldn't?
Should be higher. Like I had him like maybe 30.
30.
I think I'm struggling to think of people right now to like equate to that 30, but I had him around 30.
I don't know if I'm comfortable like going that high for him, but we'll see when we get there. Like when we get to player 30, we will ask the question, is Mobley higher than this player?
I'm good with that.
All right, so number 40, Paolo Banchero. Last year, 20 flat points per game, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 42% from the field, 30% from three. Played 72 games. Worst case scenario, that's the player you've got. So I think this is fair. Honestly, you could rank him a little higher, and I wouldn't be mad with it, but it was his rookie season, and he dropped 20. Like, you expect a player to keep developing, right? So, yeah, fair, maybe higher.
I have him lower. Not lower. He's where I expected him to be. Actually.
Angelo, your thoughts on Paolo?
Lower.
What's your reasoning? Because if this is let's assume rookie season is the worst you're gonna get, right?
Could be
27, 4, and 42% with 30% from three. From your 4-5, you don't like that?
So we just passed players like DeMar DeRozan, who is a better scorer. We just passed players like Evan Mobley, who is a much better defender. So yes, no. Paulo has to take the step up, and I guess if you want to assume the step up, I could say this is a fair rating, but until I see it lower for me.
So just for transparencies, DeMar DeRozan in his rookie season averaged 8 points per game. I'm just saying, like, if this is the worst you get from Paulo, this is fair. At worst, this is fair.
I can see it.
Number 39, Cade Cunningham, 20 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 6 assists, 41.5 from the field, 28 from the three. Played 12 games. This is too high just because of availability this far in his career.
I can agree with that. If you want to go based on potential, you could argue higher, but
Yeah, if you want to go based on potential, you could say probably top 20.
that's why it was hard for me to rank like Paulo as well, even though Paulo did play the whole slate. But Cade's potential is through the roof. He hasn't been available to show that potential, so it's a hard ranking. You could say it. You could say whatever. I'm gonna say fair for now, but it should probably be lower. It's hard.
I don't know.
It's
yeah,
tough when they don't
it is
play them.
tough. Yeah.
There's not an obvious answer.
I'm gonna plead the fifth here.
That's fair.
What up?
Me personally, I think by the end of the year, I view Cade higher than Paulo. But
Oh, for sure.
Cade
If Cade plays, absolutely.
Yeah.
Number 38, DG of the PG. 21.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds per game, and 8 assists per game, 46% from the field, 41% from three, 69 games played. And I agree, like they say on this, if Donovan Mitchell was not on the Cavaliers, Darius Garland had an all-star caliber season, for sure. For me, the fact that he's so young, because he is only 22, 23, is around there. And he's already averaging these numbers. I think Darius Garland has the potential to be one of the better playmakers in the league, which is a benefit given who he's playing with. I think this might be too low for Garland. I think if we were... I think top 30. I think he's a top 30 player. I think that the Cavs have 2 top 30 players with Garland and Mitchell, for sure.
see that. I can see that. Honestly, I think it's about right because I think his statistical production is kind of capped playing alongside Donovan Mitchell. But like I said, literally 3 segments ago, the man is capable of giving you 50 points in a given game along with Donovan Mitchell. So, he could be one of the best point guards if he had his own team. So
Yeah.
it's just how do you...
I think he's definitely on the got next for point guards. I think as we start to see the Kyries, Currys start to regress and we start to see the next wave of elite point guards with Luka, Tyrese, Darius Garland, he is definitely in that conversation as the next top tier. And honestly, because he has a more, I don't want to say more complete game because I feel like Luka is easily the most complete of the 3, but he's definitely got a right now more complete game than Tyrese. Luka has greatest of all time potential, not to beat Jordan or LeBron or anything, but on that list. So I'm not going to put Garland up there, but being that number 2 slot, that's where I see him finishing his career as the second best point guard in the league at that time.
Which I think is totally fair.
Number 37, Jrue Holiday. 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 48% from the field, 38.5 from 3. I feel like we always say it, that like everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're listening to ESPN or some content creator or us, Drew Holiday is underrated.
Yeah.
Because not only is he giving you that stat line that I just said, which again, he shot 48% from the field with 19 points per game and 7.5 assists per game. You're getting a guy that's legitimately in the conversation for a defensive player of the year as a guard. This is too low.
Yeah, I generally agree with that.
Can you repeat who that was real quick?
Drew Holiday.
What position is he at? Sorry, my headphone. I'm having like super technical
He's a
difficulties.
guard. He's a 1-2.
I know what position he plays. What number was he?
Oh, 37. I was going to say, Austin, we've got some remedial stuff to do later. Karl Anthony Towns is a power forward center now. FYI.
I like Drew there. I can live with him there.
It's got to be higher. It's got to be higher.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So number 36 is Jalen Brunson.
Okay, it's a little higher.
It's a little higher. Like, I feel like Drew Holiday has to beat Jalen Brunson. No disrespect to Jalen Brunson. 24 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, 50% from the field, 41.5 from 3. No disrespect at all. But their statistical splits are not that far off, and Drew Holiday gives you so much more on the defensive end of the ball than Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. No, I agree. And not only that, Jalen Brunson really just had that breakout season.
Right.
I think,
Which we
especially
all-
at his age, I think we need to see it again.
We all expected him to have an uptick.
Just not that.
Yeah. So, do you agree with Jalen Brunson, Austin, being 36?
Yes.
I don't, but
I don't. I think it should be lower. Number 35, Domantas Sabonis. Last season, 19 points per game, 12.3 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists per game, 61.5 from the field, 37.5 from 3, 80 games played. That's an insane stat line. Like, it feels like I should say he should be higher, but I feel like 35 is right. Right?
yeah.
I think
I
for
do
me...
remember them.
Okay, we don't talk about that. I think the reason I feel like he shouldn't be higher, because like that stat line is elite, is because he has T-Rex arms and he doesn't really play defense. I think that's fair. I think 35 fits. Austin, go ahead. Go tell me your thoughts on Sabonis.
Sabonis is right where he belongs. Have we gotten to De'Aaron yet?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Number 34, Bradley Beal. 23 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, 50% from the field, 36% from 3. Oh.
I think he's
too high. I'm not a Beal fan. I'm going to be full
he's
disclosure.
too high, and he's now with a Devin Booker, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, so he's going to get less opportunity. You're right. You know what? Just take him off the list.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal is my DeMar DeRozan / Trae Young, just an FYI.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't
Did
tell.
not know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a big fan. Also, he's playing with DeAndre Ayton. You forgot to mention Ayton when you were mentioning Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
No, I didn't forget.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Y'all are leading this one because I'm mad. Number 33, Tyrese Halliburton. 20.5 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, 10.5 assists per game, 49% from the field, 40% from the three.
Too high.
What?
I think he could finish this. I think this could be a too low by the end of the season.
Easily.
I think it's a too low already.
Okay, good. I was going to say,
I have him like 20.
if the Pacers, and they even say this, I thought of this before I read ahead. They said this in this article. If the Pacers sprint out of the gates, don't be surprised to hear Tyrese Halliburton's name in the MVP talks. Like, he is that much of a game changer, and he makes it, like, when you have an elite playmaker, you can be a mediocre player, and you're gonna look better. You're going to win more games because they're going to find you in your spots. They're going to play to your strengths, and that is what Tyrese Halliburton does. So if the Pacers come out of the gate strong, which they very likely could, there's a very solid team this season. It is young, but it is very solid. We could easily be talking about Tyrese Halliburton as our first month of the season MVP. So this is easily too low. I would say top 25 is a low point for him. I think top 20 is where Halliburton should be. And when you hear the next name, you're going to agree with me. Do you guys have anything else to add on Halliburton?
I do not.
All right, so number 32 is Lauri Markkanen, 25.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, 2 assists, 50% from the field, 40% from three. So just based on the fact that he's ahead of Halliburton, I'm going to say he's too high. And you take over.
Nope, nothing needs to be said.
Angelo?
I don't think the rest
Angelo
of the
pulled
team
an
can say
Angelo.
about it.
Sorry, I was fidgeting with the mic. So wait a minute now. There is a real chance that season was just a fluke.
Absolutely.
And you're telling me this guy is ahead of players like Tyrese Halliburton, DeMar DeRozan, Darius Garland,
Bradley Beal, Domantas Sabonis.
Get out of here. No, this is way too high.
Just based on history, absolutely. Because most of, yes, the 26 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, that's impressive. But that was mostly carried by the early season. That's way too high. I don't even know if I would have him in the top 50. That's an interesting noise. Number 31, Triple J. 18.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 50% from the field, 35.5 from three. I feel like it's got to be lower just because Ja Morant's availability.
Yeah, I agree. His defense, though.
I think in terms of his impact, he's right where he should be, around that 30 mark. But his offensive production is going to take a hit. So
You don't think Bane takes over as the facilitator?
Oh, the
the
start of the season, this is Bane's team.
Yeah, absolutely. Or Derrick Rose's. It depends.
Yeah.
What do you think of Jackson at 31, Angelo?
I mean, ooh. I think it's too low.
Too low
I think it's too low.
for the top 30.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Put some respect on his name.
You're definitely going to agree that he should go up one spot with the next player.
That seems to be the common thread here.
Number 30, Trae Young.
So, yes, Triple J is too low.
26 points per game, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, 42%, 43% from the field, 34% from three. So
bring him down in line with his counterpart, DeJounte. So, yes, this is too high for Trae.
I don't think I can say it's too high. I think 30 is about right for Trey.
I think it's too high for Trey.
Thank you.
But why?
But why? He's not. I'm with Angelo. He's not great.
So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Angelo.
All right.
You get offered a point guard who averages 26 points and 10 assists. Are you saying no to that trade? If it's like or like a respectable value.
A respectable value.
Yeah, so like I'm not asking for like LeBron James. I'm saying like
So he's asking you if you would take a donated 26 points and 10 assists.
I don't know if I would. I
Donated?
Who else on the Hawks is even the scorer?
DeJounte Murray, Kevin Huerter anymore.
Who else on the Hawks is a scorer?
John Collins, Clint Capella.
I'm still waiting for you to name someone.
DeJounte Murray averaged 20 points per game.
Okay, fine. We have DeJounte. If Trey goes anywhere else, he's not going to be getting that volume.
What?
Not
Homie,
if you want to win.
If you want to win, he won't.
I said not if you want to win.
okay, so let's drop his volume down to 18 points per game. You get offered a lead guard who is averaging 18 points and 10 assists.
Okay, cool. He's not
in the
top 30. So he's
Thank
lower.
you.
I just disagree.
If we're saying he's not in the top 30 with 26 points, why did you think going down to 18 was going to make his case better?
No, because I'm trying to get you to justify putting someone at 26 points and 10 assists outside of the top 30. I think 30 is fair.
I don't know, man. Agree to disagree on that one, Chief.
Disagree to agree.
Because he's a freaking pylon on defense, and as Austin was saying, like I still don't get it. You can say with anyone else, oh well, there's no one else who can score. He's got to get points somehow. You said it with Julius Randle. Julius Randle averages one less point than Trae Young, but you're not willing to say it with Trae Young. And by the way, Julius Randle actually plays with other players who are going to average 20 points a game, not just one.
How many assists does Julius Randle average?
Oh, these probably 3.
I want stat guy Austin to do me a favor.
What?
Pull up the assists per game in the NBA last season. Okay?
Not okay, but okay. It'd help if I was
Tell-
on the Wi-Fi.
Well, you're no longer the stat guy. I'll do it. So I don't want playoffs. I want regular season. How do I?
Yeah,
switch
yeah.
this to
You
regular
definitely
season?
don't want playoffs, buddy.
Well, no, because that's only some of the players. So we're gonna sort by assist. Do you know how many players average 10 assists?
Probably 2.
3. There was 3. You don't want one of those guys on your team.
Not Harden.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we talk about Trey's defense. You don't want Steph Curry, who is also a pylon, on your team. You don't want Darius Garland, who's also a pylon on your team.
Steph Curry is more of a threat than Trae Young will ever be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
look, what I'm saying is you build a team around a player. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. You build the team around a player, but Trey is not the man.
Yeah. Trey is the 2.
So this is
I have
what I'm
been
saying.
saying it for months now. Trey is not the one on a championship team, but Trey could be the 2. This is why
Trey
I
is
like
Zach LaVine.
This is why I liked the Dallas Maverick rumors, because Trey would finally be on a team where he doesn't need to average 10 assists and 26 points.
But that's what I'm saying. This is 30. There are 30 teams in the NBA. number 30 is perfect to be a number 2 on a team. There's going to be a lot of number 2s on teams in this top 30.
Do you think he's the best number 2? Because I don't.
No, I actually think maybe the next guy on our list is the best number 2.
Do you think Young is higher than Halliburton? I know we're
No.
not comparing like that.
No, but I think Halliburton should have been. I said Halliburton should be top 20.
Right, but as you were saying, like, you have to drop someone. So, Trey. I guess Trey is the guy I would drop. So.
No, there's other players. Like scrolling ahead, there's other players I would drop.
Well, I don't have that hindsight yet. But anyway, go on.
So number 29 is who I think is probably the best number 2 guy, is Brandon Ingram. 24.5 points per game. Actually, we'll round it up to 25 because it's 24.7.
Is he a number 2 though?
In a perfect world, yes.
I count him as a 1.
He plays with Zion Williamson.
Does he play with Zion? Does Zion play?
No, Zion does not play.
He only played 16 more games than Zion.
Still. Overall, let's look at like the length. Okay.
They played like 4 games without each other.
I don't know, man.
So, okay, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Okay, pick your oft unavailable duo. Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, or PG and Kawhi?
Like everyone's healthy in this ideal situation.
Somehow.
Ingram and Williamson, just because I think Williamson is the best of the 4, and I don't think the gap between PG and Ingram, who I think is the worst of the 4, is that big.
I'm taking Kawhi and PG, but that's just.
I think Zion, perfectly healthy, is unstoppable. Austin, what's your thought?
I mean, I can agree with Zion being perfectly healthy is unstoppable, but it's also a fairy tale.
Yeah, but that's the question is, in this situation, are you taking PG and Kawhi or Zion and Ingram and everyone is healthy?
Everyone's healthy and not load managing?
Yeah.
PG Kawhi.
No, because even if they're healthy, they're load managing.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, if they're load managing, then
stop it.
Zion and Ingram.
Stop it.
Look, Kawhi's yoga instructor said it was the vernal equinox. He can't train today.
Stop it. Such a Kawhi hater.
I mean, I'm probably not going to.
I do think we give Kawhi too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Like, is he a great player? Yes.
Yes!
However, he's never there.
And it goes to my Jimmy Butler argument.
Like, for me, like, for, like, 2K, like, I think he deserves to be, like, mid-80s. Because he doesn't play.
I would say, like, 90. 90 is fair.
I don't know what his rating is to know. I thought it was, like, low 90.
It's like 89, which is probably.
I thought it was, like, 94. But that's, like, my thing is, like, using 2K's example, we have Jimmy Butler, we have Kawhi Leonard rated way too high because what have you done for me lately? And like Kawhi's a great two-way player, sure, but he's not like it's not like it's LeBron James, Kawhi, or Giannis Antetokounmpo or Steph Curry. Like it's Kawhi, like great player, but it's Kawhi. I don't know. I think there's an overration of the quiet defensive two-way player that like a lot of people do, and it was really prevalent in this playoffs because we still think that Jimmy Butler carried the Heat to the playoffs. Because we refuse to acknowledge role players stepping up.
Role players? You want to talk about role players?
Yeah, it's 2K season.
Angelo got the reference.
Number 28, Zion Williamson.
Too high.
Too
He
low.
played 29 games. Yeah.
Too low if we are expecting him to be healthy. Too high if we're expecting him to be Zion.
Yeah.
Yep, too high. It's too high.
Talent-wise, he should be in the top 15, but
Yeah, I agree.
homie hasn't stopped eating gumbo yet, so it's too high. I'm not even going to read anything on it.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo, 27. This is interesting because I don't think even like bad Zion, I would put Bam ahead of Zion.
That's
20 and
a
a
hard
half.
call.
20 and a half points per
Hard.
game, 9 rebounds per game, 3 assists, 54% from the field, 8% from 3.
It's a hard call.
8%.
Yeah,
8% from 3. That's like what's going to do it for me because even Zion shoots like 35% from 3.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a player in the NBA and you can't even shoot double-digit 3-point percentage and you're going to say you're in the top 30, no, I can't do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Number 26 and 25, we have a tie.
Interesting.
Read it in order. So number 26, Mikal Bridges. 20 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, 46.5 field goal percentage, 38% from deep. Worth noting. Worth noting.
Mikal, right?
Yeah, so it's worth noting that his stats are a little inflated from the changes when he was traded. But he is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league for sure. And he's a solid scorer. I think top 25 is fair.
I think it's too high.
Too high?
Too high.
Would you put him ahead or behind Trae Young?
I might even put him behind Trae Young.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'm high on Mikal. So I think he's still a little too high, but I don't think he's better. I don't think he's worse than Trae Young.
So, how do you think a team that has Mikal Bridges as the number 1 scoring option is going to do?
Terrible. That's why I have Trae Young ahead of him. Like you want consistency. This is my consistency. Period. Like I can't sit here and say Trae Young's a 2 and then be like, oh yeah, Mikal. No, he's not. He's a great defensive player. He's also probably would be a great 2 or probably preferably 3 on a championship team. So
that's fair.
He has to go down.
Number 25 is Kyrie Irving, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 40.
He might be one of the hardest people to rank.
49% from the field, 38% from 3. I agree because it's like we're gonna have a full off season of Luka and Kyrie developing together, figuring out how each other plays, and both of them are. Luka's an elite playmaker. Kyrie's an above average.
Ignoring all the outside stuff with Kyrie and just focusing on basketball, it's gonna be higher if he gets a full slate.
Yeah, if he has a full season, I feel like it's higher. But can he keep his mouth shut and just play basketball is the question.
That's the question.
Like, if tomorrow morning I woke up and there was a story that Kyrie had handcuffed himself to a tree in protest for something, I would not be shocked. That's worrying if you're a fan of the Mavericks.
Yes, I'm aware.
As he is a fan of the Mavericks.
But if we're just talking about on-court production, this is too low for Kyrie. I think top 20 is easy. I think maybe, I've said before, I think top 15 is superstar level. I don't know if I'm comfortable saying Kyrie is still a superstar, but he's close.
Yes.
Number 24, Pascal Siakam. 24 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 48% from the field, 32.5 from 3.
Too high.
Too high.
Too high as well.
Yeah. Well, wait. Why is it too high, Angelo? Why is it too high?
He's not the one on a winning team. Right or wrong?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I think he could be.
I think he could be the best defensive player on a championship team.
I think he could be the best scorer on a team. It would just have to be a really well put together team. Austin,
I think
too high, too low?
Trey on the same team. That's not championship.
Spicy P?
Yeah.
Spicy
I said too high.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yep.
Number 23, Cat. 21 points per game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Again, higher assists than I was expecting. 50% from the field, 37% from 3. He only played 27 games, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think talent-wise, this is fair.
I'm going to go slightly too high.
My headphones cut out again.
Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm not big on him, so too high.
Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Number 21, James Harden. 21 points per game, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 44 field goal percentage, 38% from 3.
Too high. Way too high. Way too high.
This list needs to be redacted.
So, would you take James Harden or Trae Young?
Right now,
Neither.
James Harden?
I'd rebuild.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
No, in context of this list, is James Harden better than Trae Young?
Coming into this season, no.
Okay, that's what I wanted. This is way too high. Like, I don't even need to say it.
Yeah.
He's probably not even going to be on the Sixers when the season starts. He's going to be in the strip clubs in Houston.
Or beyond.
Oh, boy. 21, Demetrius. 26 points per game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 46.5 from the field, 30. Oh, God. Do you know what Demetrius' 3-point percentage is?
It was like 27 or 32.
No, it's 30.7, 307. Oh, boy.
That's funny.
Okay,
Great,
so
actually.
that's alarming.
It's
So
probably about right.
yeah, it's about right when he plays, but he's going to do something stupid to start the season. Let's be real.
He's becoming a Kyrie.
Number 20, Donovan Mitchell, 28.3 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 48% from the field, 39% from 3.
Too low.
I got to see what's left on this list, but too low is my.
I think that's just right, because I don't know if I would say Donovan Mitchell is a top 15 player. Right? We're on number 20. That's number 20.
I'm sorry, but this list has me second guessing everything. I really want to see it.
We're gonna be saying by the end of this that he should be higher. I'm telling you.
Well, wait, hold on. We screwed up the game. So Evan Mobley, remember we talked about this.
Yep.
Evan Mobley was number 41.
30. Yeah, 41.
Was he better than number 30, which is Trae Young?
Yes.
God damn it. I did it to myself. Y'all forgot about it. I could have just kept living my life without that one. Number 19, the first in the actual top 20, Jaylen Brown. 27 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 49% from the field, 33.5 from 4-point. They say 4-point.
Who said 4-point?
Bleacher Report, it says 33.5% 4-point percentage.
Why are we continuing with this list?
Because we are committed at this point.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Okay, so financially, this is too high because he did sign the richest contract in NBA history. Production-wise, though, I think this is too low because, again, I think Jaylen Brown is a fringe top 15 player.
I think that's right where he belongs.
It's probably close.
Well, let's see. So number 18 is Paul George. Do you think would you take Jaylen Brown or Paul George?
Jaylen Brown.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play this game for a little bit. So
Okay.
we'll start with Paul George, 23 or 24 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, 46% from the field, 37% from three. This isn't like 2013, like dueling dunks with LeBron, Paul George anymore. He's more of a spot-up shooter now.
Right.
Mhm.
It's an availability. He only played 56 games last year. I'm going to say this is too high, but only barely.
I can see that.
Yeah. Agreed. 100% agreed.
Okay, number 17. Would you take Jaylen Brown or De'Aaron Fox?
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, right. This is an easy game,
Yeah.
right? So 25 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, 51% from the field, 32%
By the way, I
from
also
three.
take Donovan Mitchell over the last two people you named.
I don't care about that.
Oh, okay.
I think this is close to being the right spot for De'Aaron Fox, but I think De'Aaron Fox is a player that so far benefits from a team more than any of the others. And what I mean by that isn't to disrespect Fox. It's that his style of play in the modern NBA needs a team built around it because, like, if you look at Domantas Sabonis's like screen assists, it's absolutely insane.
Mhm.
So De'Aaron Fox owes a lot of what he did last season to Domantas Sabonis and even like Kevin Huerter. Again, not to disrespect Fox because I do think this is about where he should be. He should be in the top 20. I would have Jaylen Brown above him, so I would say a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So would you rather have Jaylen Brown or Jamal Murray at number 16?
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, right.
Jamal Murray.
Although I will say, if I can guarantee a playoff Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. Yeah, no, it's true.
Right, but that's not what he averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 45%, 39 from 3.
Right, but playoff Jamal Murray or playoff Jaylen Brown, I'm taking playoff Jamal Murray. So
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm more of a playoff person anyway, so it's Jamal.
I'll take my scenario only.
I refuse to elaborate.
Yes.
But Jamal Murray, I feel like, again, it's the same thing. I think he's in the right area, so I'm not going to say he should fall, but I do think I would take Jaylen Brown above him.
Which is, it's fair.
Yeah.
But remember, what I want you to do when we're doing this is not think of the player in the context of their current team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown...
Still taking Donovan Mitchell over anyone we've named yet so far.
The fall between Jamal Murray and even playoff Jamal Murray and playoff Jaylen Brown offensively is not that great. But defensively, you're taking Jaylen Brown every time.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I think that Jaylen Brown, as we've just seen, should be in the top 15.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. Number 15, Anthony Edwards. 25 points per game.
Oh, no.
Oh, no?
What about it?
What do you have a problem with Ant in the top 15?
I don't. Austin
Austin
has a
doesn't.
problem with it?
Austin? So
Austin
wait a minute.
doesn't.
Your number 7 small forward is... So you think there's 6 better small forwards, but there's not 15 better players than Anthony Edwards?
I was looking at last year's production. This is future production.
Okay.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is 21 years old.
Okay. Okay. I was just getting
Every year,
clarification.
he will probably move up for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he even said that in our small forward rankings.
Getting
So
clarification.
25 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game. I said assists per game twice. The 5 and that, or the 6 is rebounds per game. 46% from the field, 37% from three. He jumped 9 spots from last year.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I think this is fair. I think that the only part of his game that's lacking is defense, and defense is something that does come with time.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does Angelo think about this? Because he was vocal for a second there.
I thought Austin had something to say on it. I think it's fair.
I don't think at this point. I think there's only one player left that any of us are going to disagree with vehemently.
Who's that?
Who do you think?
Oh.
Yeah. Number 14 is Damian Lillard. I think this depends on what team he ends up on. But 32 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 46% from the field, 37% from three. If he manages that production again on a team that has other contending talent, like if it was the Miami Heat, that should be higher. But
Mm-hmm.
like once we get to the top 15, we're kind of grasping at straws here.
Yeah.
So how about I will speed things up a little bit. I'm just going to, because I think we all generally agree that the top 15 should be in the top 15 or at least on the fringe of it, right? Like no one's going to say LeBron James is too high. So I'm just going to read through it real quick. And then you guys tell me if you agree with them or disagree with them, think they're too high, too low, whatever. And just talk quickly through it. So number 13 is Kawhi. I think Austin and I both agree that he is a little too high, just availability. And it's not availability because of injury. It's availability because he chooses to not be available. Production-wise, he's up there. But availability.
This is where he should be.
13. Number 12, Jimmy Butler. I think he's too high because, again, I think that the versatile 2-3 is very overrated.
He might be too low, but we'll see.
Austin.
I think he is better than Kawhi, so I'm good where he's at.
So remember, this is based on next season, not career to this point or last season or anything. So number 11 is SGA. I think
too low.
Going into next season, he's too low.
Yeah.
Man's just averaged 32 points per game, and you have him at 11? No, that's too low. Angelo?
I agree with that. It might be too low, yeah.
Anthony Davis, number 10. That's too high.
Yeah.
I think it's about right.
No, I could put him at 10.
Yeah, that's about right.
So with his availability and his age and the fact that LeBron is getting older, you still are going to have him...
How many games did he play last year?
56.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
And LeBron is getting older.
I'll see it when I see it.
I'll see it when I see it.
Number 9, D-Book. That's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Number 8, Kevin Durant. Again, who's going to argue with Kevin Durant?
Right.
You could say he could be higher, though. He is also 35. Number 7, LeBron James.
I think he could be higher, but we'll see.
I don't know if I'd put him higher than the rest of the list, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is number 6. I don't have LeBron above Steph because Steph's game is not going to regress that much with age.
Fair.
Number 5, Jason Tatum. I'm not putting LeBron above JT next year. Number 4, Joel Embiid. I think that's too high. I think I would have JT above Joel, but I think Joel would be number 5 for me.
Mhm.
Anyone disagree?
No.
Number 3, Luka.
Ooh. Too low, but that's
That's
this
the
is
thing is, I can't say it's too low with the other 2 on the list. Like, I think that all 3 of these should have been a tie for 1. Because 2 is Giannis and 1 is Jokic.
I guess that's fair.
All 3 of those deserve to be number 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
Me personally, just because the things I value, I put Jokic, Luka, Giannis, but if you were to say Giannis, Luka, Jokic, I wouldn't argue with you really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
So
you
yeah,
had to draw a line somewhere.
that is Bleacher Reports top 100. I feel like the first 50, like 100 through 50, like it was solid. And then as we got into the top 50, I just was questioning more and more. And then the top 15 wasn't bad.
Yeah. It got weird for sure.
They have a list of like most players, or they have a list of like players in the top 50. I'm looking to see which team has the most. I think it's actually the Blazers. Blazers, Suns, Sixers, OKC, Knicks, Timberwolves, Bucks, Pacers, all have 4. The Warriors have 5. Cavaliers have 4 as well.
Maxter.
Oh, the Celtics have 6.
Yeah.
Celtics have 6.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't feel good about that list.
No, me neither. Could have been better for sure.
Yeah.
So real quick, just because we said we were gonna do it, we'll do a quick round of NBA Would You Rathers.
Okay.
Would you rather have a prime Carlos Boozer or prime Eric Gordon to build a team around?
Booze.
Eric Gordon. Like,
Wait,
we're talking
repeat
like
that?
modern. Prime Boozer or prime Eric Gordon?
Oh.
It's Eric Gordon.
Yeah.
Because it's the modern NBAs when you're building it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, it's fair.
Would you rather have a prime, or would you rather have Stephen Curry who thinks he's prime Shaq, or Shaq who thinks he's a prime Steph Curry?
Steph Curry who thinks he's prime Shaq.
Shaq. Just
I
for
would rather have Shaq
I
like
would love to
tucking
see
half
Shaq.
court threes.
Yeah.
Not me. No.
I think that would just be comedy.
Would you rather become the G League greatest of all time or get caught stealing Jordans off a Make-A-Wish kid?
Excuse me?
I don't make the rules.
What did that say?
Would you rather be the G League greatest of all time or get caught stealing Jordans off a Make-A-Wish kid?
Give me the G League.
I mean, what Jordans are they?
Hold on.
Jordans are there?
Would you rather have Dwayne Wade or Russell Westbrook choose your outfit every day?
Wade.
Wade. And Angelo?
Didn't LeBron show up to a game in a turtleneck?
Probably multiple times. Would you? Okay, this one is for Angelo.
Okay.
Would you rather your team wins one title and doesn't make the playoffs for 10 years, or make the playoffs for 10 years and never win a title?
Did you hear me?
No.
No.
One title.
One title.
So I went into this with Alex on I don't know if it was fantasy football or if it was NFL talk, but it was one of them. But I've never heard someone say, I regret I regret like acquiring pieces for a championship run. Like the regret only comes in if you don't win. If you win, no matter what happens before or after that, doesn't matter. You won.
So the next question is super great.
Okay.
Would you rather fight 10 Nate Robinson-sized Blake Griffins or one Blake Griffin-sized Nate Robinson?
Repeat the question?
Would you rather fight 10 Nate Robinson-sized Blake Griffins or one Blake Griffin-sized Nate Robinson?
The 10 Nate Robin sized Blake Griffins.
You'd be dead.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be okay.
Okay, here's actually a good team building question. Would you rather have a superstar or 2 stars?
A superstar.
So you would rather take Damian Lillard than have Jaylen Brown and
Didn't you just
Ja
say
Morant.
that Jaylen Brown is a superstar first off?
I think so.
So no.
Right, no, it's 2 star players.
No. Jalen, the person you gave me is not a star, they're a superstar.
Okay, so would
my
you
point.
rather have Damian Lillard or PG and Tyrese Halliburton?
Damian Lillard.
You're I don't know. You guys got anything else?
No. What's tomorrow? Saturday? Okay, how about
Tomorrow is Saturday. You don't have to rush it.
Yeah, time to edit it tonight.
I don't know. Like I said, this was gonna be kind of a slower, calmer episode, but next week we are back to normal. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Back off vacation, so me and Alex might actually be able to get to
Release an episode on time.
Well, I mean, we released Thursday, but Tuesday we might be able to get 2 in. And
The season started and y'all started sleeping.
Which, by the way, it was a crazy freaking start. What I said was going to happen kind of happened. What I said for Detroit was going to happen.
Question for the football podcast. Are you guys going to release an episode before Sunday?
No.
Like, you're not gonna recap that game?
No, we'll recap the game when we recap the rest of the game.
Okay, so you're gonna do like a full week recap?
Basically.
That's fair.
We record Monday, so we recap everything that happened, and then we'll preview the Monday Night Football game.
That's fair. Yeah, that's all I got. Austin, do you have anything? Tonight has been a quiet Austin night.
Austin has been having trouble with his mic.
Austin's been malfunctioning all night.
So.
Do you have any words of wisdom for the listeners before we go?
No words of wisdom. I am all wisdomed out.
You're the teacher.
Threats of positivity and love.
I
Yeah.
save it for the children's.
He saves it for the children.
Angelo, I'm tired. Talk us out.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you liked what you heard, which you got this far, give
I
us
don't
a
know how
like.
you did, if you did, because this was an episode. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't enjoy this one.
You didn't? I didn't mind it.
I mean, like, it wasn't our normal, like, energy. It was just kind of reading a list that other people did and grading it.
I guess that's true.
Where normally, like, we do a lot more, like, legwork, and this was just kind of sitting here reading a list. So,
Yeah, you just made the list.
just made the list. We are getting closer to the season. I think next week, here I am taking over the intro or the outro. I think next week we will try to recap FIBA. And this is like the note for Austin and Angelo, because if I don't tell them like 20 times what we're doing for the next week, like it won't get done.
That's just me.
I think we will recap FIBA. So if you've not been following FIBA, we will have a bit of a recap for it next week. It should be over by next week. It'll be over Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll do a closeout for that. It's not going to be fully in depth because it's FIBA. Who really cares? Like, the best players aren't even playing.
Truth.
And then we will have a closing of the loop that was the draft we did a couple weeks ago. We waited until 2K24 came out so that we could, stem it on the most recent engine, but I have a feeling my team's going to win.
Yeah.
Just because I have Jokic and 2K loves Jokic, so it is what it is.
Doesn't even remember his team.
I will send it to you. I have it in a Word document.
It should be in the game.
My team will win.
So yeah, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. We're getting closer to season tip-off. That's what Austin and I were talking about last night on the Xbox when you went to bed, Angelo. Is like the best part of 2K coming out isn't 2K. It's the fact that means the season's just around the corner. So
when are we streaming 2K?
We got to finish grinding first off. We talked about doing this like when we started the podcast. The whole plan was we were going to, like, it doesn't matter if like off season, we were still going to be here, and we've done it. It's been a lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be because there's nothing going on right now.
Well, to be honest, you made out a plan that no like other content creators really do.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a reason why no other content creators do that.
Yeah, but we're still going to do it. We're going to do it next year, and it's going to suck then too, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what we do. But we'll also have a game plan before the week 2K drops, and like Starfield and like a million other games to distract us. So like Angelo said, if you made it this far, I'm shocked, but this is not our normal content. But if you made it this far, leave us a like on whatever platform you're listening to. It does help the algorithm, and we do appreciate it. We actually are growing in that regard. I don't know if you guys have looked at that, but we'll talk about that off air. Give a follow for the notifications because you do get notified when we drop an episode. Sometimes we do throw out random bonus episodes, and also if you have not yet, which if you've been listening to us for more than a month, you know now about the football podcast. Go check out Alex and Angelo. They do release episodes on
usually Tuesday and
Thursday. So you actually get 2 episodes of No Reserve on Tuesday and Thursday. So just more of the same content. Like, they have a different style, but
much different.
It's much different. It's much more, I don't want to say relaxed, but it is. You guys don't debate that much. That'd be, as someone with a short attention span, I need conflict.
I don't know if I agree with that or not.
Manufacture conflict.
I don't know if I agree with your statement or not, just based on the last few episodes.
To be fair, I've missed a couple because
Oh.
I've been drowning in work, but I will check up on them. Besides that, follow us on socials. Austin's bad at that, but he is responsible for it. We are at No Reserves on all social media platforms, and we will see you next week. If you follow the podcast, you will see Angelo on Tuesday.
Yep.
Peace.